Hi everyone, this is Dr. Aitsi-Selmi for another episode of Wise Wednesdays. How do you know when to speak up if you're in a meeting or surrounded by people that are colleagues or bosses or people you want to impress or people who maybe you don't have such a good relationship with and you're not sure whether you should say something or not because you're worried it might be used against you? These are very difficult situations to be in and they're very common in today's work culture. One of my clients was in one of these situations recently. She was in a meeting with a lot of the great and the good in her field, some of the most powerful people in her specialty. And she felt that she wanted to say something. She felt that something wasn't quite right. And she felt a sense that it would be good to speak something, to say something and to contribute. But there was a voice in her head that said, no, don't do that. It's dangerous. It's unsafe. What's the difference anyway? It's not going to help. But she used some of the tools that we've been working on and she became very aware of the situation and relaxed and was able to be present and not reactive. So not get lost in the thoughts and stories that were emerging in her head in response to the pressure of the situation. So she was very mindful, very present. And sure enough, just at the right time, the words floated out of her mouth and she said something and it was received in a way that suggested it had impact. And in this particular situation, she received support as well. Now, it doesn't always happen that way. Sometimes you say something, it's true for you, it's maybe the right thing to say, but the response isn't so supportive. It doesn't mean it's wrong or you shouldn't have spoken. But that's another theme for another day. Dealing with pressure, dealing with tension, dealing with criticism. In fact, there's a video I made a few years ago called Dealing with Criticism Gracefully, if you want to have a look at that, from 2016, I think. So one way to try and find your way through these situations is to think about it in terms of appropriateness and in terms of how you want to be in the situation. What's right for the situation. And one archetype I work with a lot is the warrior healer. Is it time to be a warrior or is it time to be a healer? And if they work together, it can be even more interesting. There are even more permutations of ways of being in different situations. So if you're not sure whether to speak up in a meeting, check in with yourself. Check in with your warrior healer. Is it time to be a warrior? Is it time to be a healer? A warrior might just speak up and say and not care. The healer might sit back and look for patterns, try to sense what's going on, and try and diagnose first before making a pronouncement or making a move. And they can work well together, and then it becomes very much a moment-to-moment response where the strength of the warrior and the wisdom of the healer work together. So I want to share four things, four characteristics of warrior healers. You probably have them, and it's just a matter of cultivating them, giving them more space. If you're listening to my videos, you probably are one of these sorts of people. And it's one of the advantages of being a warrior healer is that you balance out the tendency to want to take action and do and implement and get things done with a tendency to want to take time and observe and look for themes and patterns and threads that you can pick up and use to heal a situation or transform it with more natural grace and flow than with a more sort of powerful and brash approach of the warrior. Kind of yang and yin, or yin and yang. So, four things that you might notice as a warrior healer operating well. So one, you you use your intuition to sense a situation. Your peripheral attention is well developed, so you can pick up on signals and signs when it's appropriate, when you need to pick up on signals and signs and pay attention to what's going on in your environment. And that gives you a felt sense of the situation, of the circumstances, of the present moment. Two, you can also really focus, really pay attention to one single point in the time-space continuum where it's appropriate for you to act with precision and skill. So the timing is right and the action is skillful. And so you can move between this peripheral attention and the focused attention. Number 3, you also act decisively. So when the moment comes, when you've sensed enough and you've spotted the moment to act, there are no mental obstacles in your head. There are no voices or stories, or if they're there, they're not strong enough to impede the action or slow it down and get it off the right track or into the wrong moment. Your mind is clear and quiet. You've got all the information. You've found the right moment, and the action naturally unfolds. It looks like a lack of hesitation, but actually it's just spontaneity resulting from clarity. It's kind of a beautiful thing, and you've probably experienced it. And repeated over time, that's the experience of flow. You're sensing and responding at the right time without effort. And then finally, number 4, you're willing to deal with the consequences, because things may not always turn out as you expect. And it may not have worked exactly in the ideal way. And that's okay. You're able to be with the discomfort of that, with the uncertainty, with whatever feedback comes back, and repeat the cycle. So sensing, picking up the cues, getting a felt sense of the situation, and again, noticing when the appropriate moment for action is, and then allowing yourself to act decisively. So you're not looking to win. A warrior healer isn't looking to win, or at least when they're wise, they're not looking to win. They're looking to act skillfully, to act decisively and skillfully. And life is much easier in that way. There's much more freedom. You're not you're not attached to a goal. You're just constantly in the present moment, sensing, picking up, and taking skillful action at the right time. So I hope that helps. I saw a lovely quote on the London Underground, I live in London, which said, "We're all a little bit broken, but last time I checked, broken crayons still colored well." And I thought that was a lovely image of, we don't have to be perfect. We just have to keep coloring our colors. And with that, I leave you for this week, hoping that was helpful. Feel free to leave comments, questions, make suggestions. If you want to register for this month's webinar, please do. There should be a link on the website, www.dremina.com/webinar. And it's going to be on making decisions around careers, taking big career leaps. And I'll be joined by the amazing Goldie Sayers, who is an Olympic medalist and UK javelin record holder, who's also taken a big leap in the last 3 years. And we'll be sharing some of our insights and experiences with you. So do join us if you have big questions about whether to change career, when to do it, when the timing is, how to do it, and so on. We'll be delighted to try and help you move forward on your path. So have a great week, have a great day, and I will see you soon. Bye-bye.